Ayan, so start na tayo mag-compute ng ating ratio analysis. So this time, we can produce now the remaining ratio analysis from income statement together with the debt ratio, the stability ratio, or the activity ratio, and the another ratio from the current asset ratio and current liabilities. So, or what we known as the liquidity ratio. So, start na natin. I-produce muna yung kulang dito sa income statement. So, we have the return on asset is equals to the net income divided by asset. So, we will produce our net income divided by the total asset. So, punta tayo sa balance sheet. We have total asset of yan, 4 million. So the percentage of the return on asset is, sorry po, ano muna natin sa percentage. Ayan, 25%, 25.52%. At 24.52%. What about the return on investment? Ibig sabihin, out of total 100% ng asset, yung 24.52% nun ay galing sa net income. So, which is good kasi malaki yung share niya sa company. So, what about on the return on investment or ang basis niya is capital? So, we have net income. So, net income divided by the total amount of our capital. So, dito natin kunin sa ending, which is 2 million. Ibig sabihin, kung ang pagbabasihan naman ay capital, ang share niya ay, ayan, this one is 44.97%. Ayan, yan yung return on investment ng ating net income against its capital. Okay, so let's start to produce naman our ratio analysis on the balance sheet. So we'll start with the liquidity. So when we say liquidity, it's more on liquid. So current, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay current asset and current liabilities. So liquidity ratio, we have two. We have the working capital ratio. Okay? O yung anong other term nito? Working capital ratio or current asset ratio. And then we have yung tinatawag natin na acid test ratio. Okay. So, madali lang naman siya. I-gets nyo lang lahat ng percentage ng bawat isa. So, working capital ratio is equals to total current asset divided by total current liability. So, i-gets lang natin yung current asset natin dito. Ito yung amount niya, di ba? 3,280,000 divided by yung total utang o yung total, saglit, total current liabilities. Current tayo. Ito. So, ang lumabas ay, sorry po, hindi siya percentage. Naiano ko lahat sa percentage. So, dapat ito ay general, number lang. So, bali, ang lumabas ay sobra-sobra. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, sa bawat 1 peso na utang, meron siyang sobra na 3.26%, which you can also pay your other liabilities aside from current na utang. You can also produce the certain having enough money for the operation of the business or makakabili pa kayo ng mga supplies na kailangan nyo kasi sobra-sobra yung natira. So, 4.26 piso lang naman ang kailangan natin sa bawat benta. So, sa bawat utang, meaning to say you have still remaining of 3.26 or 3 piso at 26 centavos sa bawat 1 peso na utang. Okay? What about the acid test ratio? So, yung acid test, lagyan natin ng equals to, kunin lang natin yung mga current na mas current, yung ibig sabihin yung easily convertible to cash. So, dito sa tatlo, ang easily convertible to cash lang dyan ay cash at accounts receivable. Kung may marketable security dyan, kasama rin siya. Pero dahil wala, So, yung dalawa lang. So, i-add, ay, sorry, ba't ko ba na ano yun? Ah, ala, magkano yung cash? Magkano uli yung amount of cash? Sorry po, hindi ko na naiano yung nagbago tuloy yan. Yan. Yan ang ano natin, pag nagkamali tayo ng computation, magbabago lahat. Okay, anyway, na-produce ko na ulit. So, ang i-add lang natin dyan is equals to, open and close parenthesis, kunin natin yung amount ng cash at saka ng accounts receivable only. So, ito, cash plus accounts receivable. And then, i-close natin. Close divided by, kunin naman natin yung amount ng current liabilities. So, dapat maingat kayo sa pagko-compute kasi kagaya niyan, kanina nagkamali ako ng ano. Yeah. So, ibig sabihin, from the result itself, so gawin natin siyang not percentage. Gawin natin siyang, ayan. So, parang yung kanina. Tapos, paliliitin mo lang. So, number ang dapat nalalabas sa hindi percentage kasi this one is ratio. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, pag na-compute natin yung acid test ratio, we still have, from every peso, we have sobra-sobrang money na 3.07 peso per 1 peso na utang. So, ibig sabihin, aside from liquid siya, profitable talaga siya kasi di ba kanina dun sa una nating computation, malaki yung sobra. Okay, so we can compute now our activity ratio. So other term for activity ratio is stability ratio para malaman natin kung stable ba yung ating business. Okay? So first thing that we need to compute is yung ating average average daily sales against 365 days. Ayan, yung 365. And then we have, ano pa ba? We have average collection period. Ito naman yung after getting the number, the per day natin, we can compute our accounts receivable over average daily sales, yung lumabas. And then we have yung uh, fixed asset turnover. So, mako-compute natin ito by producing our sales divided by fixed asset. So, and then we have inventory turnover. Mako-compute naman natin to by producing our cost of sales over our inventory. And then we have the total asset turnover by means of computing the sales over total asset. Okay. So, first we have sa income statement tayo sisilip. Kunin natin yung ating total sales. Ayan. Kunin muna natin. And then sorry, we divide it by, i-divide natin sa 365. Ayan. So, yung lumabas, every day, dapat makapagbenta siya ng 8,219.18 pesos. And then, dun sa average collection, so, kunin natin yung ating amount ng receivable sa taas. So, magkano yung receivable niya? Accounts receivable na 550 divided by, ayan, i-divide natin siya doon sa na-compute natin na 8,219. So, ibig sabihin, gawin natin tong number, general. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, si Emerald pala, every 2 months and 6 days, or every 2 months and 7 days siya, bago makapaningil. Kasi ito yung lumabas na result 66 divided by 30 kasi, di ibig sabihin meron tayong 2 months and 7 days bago siya makakolekta. So, yun yung lumabas sa result. Okay, sa turnover naman niya or fixed asset turnover, i-divide naman natin yung sales natin. So, punta tayo sa sales divided by yung ating fixed asset. Yung natira na lang ha, wag na yung may yung accumulated kasi bawas na yun eh. Yung natira na lang. So yung net ng fixed asset natin, i-compute natin. Ayan, net office equipment. So ang natira ay inventory turnover ng 416%. So ibig sabihin, 416 na balik. So, not this one is not percentage also. Ayan. So, apat na beses siyang kailangang makapagbenta ng equipment. Okay? Bago tayo magkaroon ng yung ating accounts receivable. So, apat na beses ang turnover niya. Okay? So, what about inventory turnover? So, ang ating inventory turnover is yung cost natin, cost of goods sold. Ito, divided by our inventory. So, may inventory tayo, di ba? Yung inventory kasi, ito yung mga items na nagawa mo na pero hindi mo pa na ibibenta. Okay? So, ito ay hindi percentage. Ayan. So, 11 times daw na meron siyang cost of sale bago siya maibenta. So, 11 times yung turnover niya bago mo maibenta yung natitirang inventory sa warehouse. Okay. What about total asset turnover? So, yung total asset turnover, nakikita nyo naman yung sa computation na binigay ko sa inyo. It should be sales divided by total asset. Para malaman natin kung ilang beses ba na meron tayong asset bago tayo makapagbenta ng sales. Okay? So, total asset is equals to sales divided by yung 4 million ng total divided by 4 million or yung total asset. Ayan. So, 75. Pero number siya. Saglit po. Hindi siya percentage. 75 times or ilang 75 na beses. Sorry po. Ayan. 0.75. Wala pang isang balik bago tayo makapag benta based dun sa ating total asset turnover. Yan, 0.75. And then we have the debt ratio. Dito naman malalaman natin kung gaano ba tayo katagal nakakapagbayad ng ating utang. So first is we have the debt ratio. And then we have the long-term debt ratio. Okay. And then we have the total debt over total stockholders' equity. And then we have total debt over total sales over sales. Okay. Yung debt ratio niya, ang denominator niya is syempre asset. So, hanapin lang natin yung total debt. So, i-add lang natin yung current liabilities at saka yung non-current liabilities. Andito na yun eh. So we need to add 769 plus itong 1,050,000 divided by the total asset of 4 million. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, yung utang natin ay 45.48% ng ating total asset, which is not good kasi dapat sa result daw is at least 40% lang ang basis ng utang and then yung capital dapat 60% ng totality ng ating kabuang asset. So medyo malaki-laki ng konti pero okay pa rin naman. Hindi naman siya ganun ka ano. What about the long term? So yung long term natin is 1,050,000. Tama. 1,050,000 and then i-divide mo sa ating total asset. Asset yan eh. So, out of total asset, kung ang pagbabasihan ay long-term debt lang, meron siyang share na 26.25%, which is good. Eh, kaya lang, pag sinama mo yung current asset, medyo malaki na. Kaya lang, based sa kinumpit natin kanina na may pambayad naman tayo dahil liquid naman tayo, so okay lang. Okay, so yun yung mga result kung bakit lahat ng mga ratio kinocompute natin. So total debt against um, total stockholders equity. So yung kaninang ginawa natin equals i-add natin yung current at saka long term. Kaya ang pagbabasihan naman natin is yung capital. Okay, i-add natin ito plus the long term divided by na-divide ay sorry divided by itong ating capital. So, yon. So, kung ang pagbabasihan naman ay total debt against stockholders' equity, ang utang daw ay 83.43%. Medyo malaki. Kung ang pinagbasihan ay capital, dun mo siya ibinase. So, dapat sa result kasi is at least 50% lang. So, medyo malaki yung utang niya. Okay. Kung ang basis naman ay total debt, o yung kanina uli, yung 8 current liabilities na 768 plus 1,050,000 divided by sales. Ito naman ang pagbabasihan. Ang share niya ay 60.65% ang total debt and then yung natira ay ah 39.35%. Okay. So, medyo malaki-laki pa rin yung basis ng utang. So, diyan yung makikita na kahit profitable yung business. O, nakita nga nating profitable yung business, pero yung overall recommendation natin, ang laki pala ng utang ng company. Ibig sabihin, nabuhay pala siya ng utang. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong cash, pero yung pala ay nanggaling sa inutang natin. So, hindi natin yung makikita kung ang i-compute lang natin ay isa o dalawang ratio. So, kung overall ratio na tinatawag, nakita natin na even though malaki yung profitability, and malaki yung ating cash, yun pala ay nanggaling sa utang. So, kung madedetermine nyo kasi dito sa end result, kung saan siya nanggaling. Okay? So, I hope naintindihan nyo yung discussion natin. So, i-stop ko na siya and then yung fourth part, yun na yung paano i-compute yung horizontal ratio analysis. Thank you.